for my SeaWorld friends, here is my how to make cotton buds video. I apologize if this is very much teaching conservators how to suck eggs or make cotton buds. The way I think of making a cotton bud is a couple of key things about getting it right. First is that your cotton wool that you should get is 100% cotton, so look for 100% cotton. If in doubt, go for medical, don't go for baby, because the baby stuff sometimes is padded out with an artificial fibre, and that reduces the efficacy of your cotton bud. The second thing is actually cheap is good. So I've got a cocktail stick here first, and I'll show you that, but then I'm going to show you the difference between a slightly cheaper wooden skewer and a slightly more expensive one. The next thing is I think of it like candy floss. So you get your beautiful cotton wool that's really 100% cotton. You take your skewer or whatever your wooden thing is, and you put it on the surface and you roll away. So you just roll and float. You see, I've just picked it up like that. Then you use your fingers just to get the shape that you want. So I'm just using my fingers and rolling to get my kind of standard cotton bud that I want, which is quite tight and quite nice. Now I'm sure you all know this, but have a little jar, pesto, baby food, something like that, hammer the nail in. You can take your cotton bud off just by doing that. Now, that was pretty simple. Some people talk about putting little grooves in and stuff. I certainly haven't got time in life to do that. So I just wanted to show you a couple of other things. Here is a slightly bigger skewer. It's got a flat edge, so I'm not sure how useful that is to you, but you can see exactly the same. I just swirled it on the surface, lift it. So this is going to make a little tiny tough one. You might be cleaning some cast iron or something. So again, just to show you, anything works. You put it on the surface. You don't have to dig in. I'm just twisting. The thing now, if I twist too much, I get too much, you see? But if I twist a little bit, let's take that off. Turn it over. Put it on, twist and lift. Then you can, again, with my thumb, I'm just shaping that to get it more up the way, to get it the shape that I want. I can't really get you inside of that. But if it's too fat, too thin, you can always add some more. And you can just add it on the end if you want a nice big fat end one. You know, maybe doing some final off polishing or something like that. And then you've got a nice big soft one. Things I definitely didn't tell you to do. If you're using a little cocktail stick, if you bought them clean from a food shop, and sometimes you want the really sharpness, and sometimes you don't, and sometimes I just chew the end, but don't tell anyone. And then you may have bought cotton wool swabs. I mean, obviously you don't want to do that because of all the waste. If you know, look at the waste you're going to get from just throwing away cotton wool. It's so much better. But you can, if you've got an old cotton wool swab, they've got that little, I can't get this in focus because it's in my face, but anyway, they've got the little groove on the end. So you can actually just reuse your cotton wool swab ones. So again, just put it on the surface and twist. Ooh. Get it picked up, twirl it around. There you are. Commercial end, Jane end. You know, it's just you've got more control. And again, once you've done this, you can, I think it's too fat for this whole size. You can make a different, with these, you can have a couple of different nails and hammer them through. So a couple of other things. I know people say you can't do this with gloves on, so I'm going to stupidly try and do this in one take because I've got meetings to go to. So I'm going to try and put gloves on really, really fast whilst talking. Just remember when you're putting cotton wool onto a swab, two things. It really annoys me when people overuse a swab. You know, we're not talking a lot of money. I bought this for, like, I don't know, 50 conservation students at Cardiff University X years ago, and we're still using it. We don't get through that much. It's not like the plastic ones. So use plenty. I hate it when I see people like swabbing over once something's dirty. It's like, take it and get it out of the way. So can you do this with gloves on? Can I do this with gloves on whilst pointing my hands away at the camera? This is where we'll find out. So again, you put it, oh Lordy, I need to do it a bit flat. So you put it down, oops, and then you put it on the surface and you roll up, you lift, and then again, just use your fingers to shape the swab. I can't kind of put the camera inside of my fingers, so that's not such a good one because you can see it's got an annoying little knob on it. You can actually just snip them off. If it's not there, that's much, much better. So now I've got a decent sort of swab that I can work with. Now, just while I'm here and I've got your attention, with the solvents, the thing about what we're trying to do here is we're trying to lift things off the surface, not wash the surface. So never get your cotton swab too saturated. So here's a horrible, there we are. So if you've got your solvent here and you're solvent the sponsor, and you absolutely bathe your swab in it till it is soaking wet, this is how not to do it because this is a bad plastic one, then what you'll get is you'll get a saturated surface. I've got a bit of blue roll here, and if I roll it down, you can see how wet it is. So if you've got any consolidant in that, it's going to take it away and into your substrate. So what you do is, I would say, is make it half wet. So here's the swab I just made with gloves. I dip it in a little bit. Actually, there's almost no solvent left there, so just a little bit. Now, you won't be able to see this on camera, but the solvent has only travelled halfway up that swab. So you can see how wet the paper was from the last one. Now with this, it's much more controlled. So the idea is that you're rolling over the surface and lifting. So everything that dissolves gets lifted back up into this cotton wool because there's some capillary reaction left, because there's some dry here. So that way then, you've done it once. Why keep it? Why ration your cotton wool? Because you're making your own. This is the point, you get rid of it. Now, the other thing I like to do is keep them. If you keep them, then maybe a little bit of Melanex or polyester anyway, a bit of film or something, and you can then check them, because when they're dry, if it has absorbed anything, you'll feel like a little bit of a crunch to it, a little bit of resistance. You can look at the colour, you can measure your progress. And one thing I love from students is where they clip lots of little cotton buds into their work records. I think that's so cute. Okay, so this has been a bizarrely long 7 minutes spent talking cotton wool buds with me. I'm blessed you if you've stayed this long.